Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to DIRVision here on a Thursday evening as we kick off the Quad Cities 150 weekend from one of our favorite racetracks in the country, Davenport Speedway in Davenport, Iowa. We start things off, it's a special weekend, so we start things off with a bit of an extended pre-race show each night here this weekend at Davenport. This is the Sage Fruit Stage Show. A big thank you to Sage Fruit for making these stage shows possible. We're going to talk to some of the stars competing this weekend here at Davenport Speedway. Whether you're a fan of open wheel racing or you're a fender person, Davenport is the place for you this weekend. The World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment late models in action 3 nights, and the Extreme Outlaw Midget Series presented by Toyota in action 3 nights as well. They practice tonight and then 2 nights of racing to follow that. My name is Connor Wade. I'm joined on the stage by a great co-host in Mike Warren, the voice of the Superduke Car Series Bid Block Modifieds and the public relations coordinator for the World of Outlaws Case late models. And Mike, you've been busy with Superduke Car Series already this week, but you caught a flight to Davenport yesterday, I believe it was. I guess my first question is, are you well rested and ready to go for this 3-day weekend?
I'm pretty rested, ready to go. Quick flight in from Buffalo, like you said, but we're excited. The My Place Hotels Quad Cities 150 presented by Hoker Trucking. 3 nights of action, getting things started with the late models tonight at 7:30. And Connor, I'm happy for our first guest here tonight as we have the defending World of Outlaws Case Construction Equipment Late Model Series champion Dennis Erb Jr. on hand. And Dennis, this is an event you've competed in now for the 3rd straight year. What makes Davenport unique compared to every other racetrack in the country?
It's a racy racetrack for sure. It's got multiple grooves, short way around the bottom, and then makes it a bigger racetrack around the top. So usually puts on a lot of good races, and it's always fun to be here.
You picked up a win against a tough field of cars here in the month of May, and everybody talks about experience at a racetrack. How important is it to have recent experience at a racetrack? There might have been guys that have won here, but maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago. Does having a win as recent as the month of May at this racetrack, does that give you any kind of advantage just knowing what maybe the racetrack has been like this year?
Well, I sure hope it, hope it does. I mean, we were here earlier and we did pick up a win, and we keep them notes, tucked away, and hopefully, racetrack conditions might be the same and be able to pull that out, and that might help us here. Every time we come to the racetrack, though, it seems like something's different, something's changing.
For sure.
We definitely got them notes there, and hopefully that will help us here this weekend.
Now, with tonight's heat, of course, very hot day out here in Davenport. What do you think the track's probably going to do? They've been laying water to it all afternoon, but is it going to suck up that moisture and probably get slick pretty quick?
Oh, I'm sure it will. I mean, the temperatures and the wind a little bit out there. I mean, definitely dry it up some. But these guys here, they'll work on it hard. They got the equipment, and they'll make sure we got a good track.
Let's talk 2023 a little bit. Obviously coming in with big expectations to have as good of a season as you had last year, being the World of Outlaw Case Late Model Champion. I feel like you've had a solid season, 4 wins, I believe, total on the year, 3 of those against national level competition. Are you satisfied with the way 2023 has gone to this point?
Well, not really. I mean, we've had some good runs, won some races, and we're getting back in the groove here. Having some good finishes here recently, but we started off a little bit behind, in the World of Outlaw, point steal, but we're starting to inch our way back up in there. But competition's tough, and we just got to keep working hard, and we'll get back on top here.
You mentioned crawling yourself back into things. 10 out of the last 12 races, you finished in the top 10 in World of Outlaws competition. So that consistency really starting to come back. And a couple of races before that was when you picked up that win at 81-2. Do you feel you're starting to really get back to where you were at this point last year?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's one of the biggest things, is the consistency, and, earlier in the year we didn't have that. And I think, the last couple months here, things have been rolling pretty good, and I think we're back on that.
2 weeks in between the last World of Outlaw Case late model event at Cedar Lake. So a 2-week break, and of course there's other races in between. And I feel like drivers have different ways of approaching it. Some go and race both weekends. Some kind of take some time off. Maybe they'll go race one weekend, spend some time the next weekend in the shop working on the car. How did you approach the 2 off weekends? Did you feel like continuing to be on the track was better just to get laps, or did you scale back a little bit, take some time in the shop to work on the car?
We scaled back a little bit. I mean, we went to Fairbury a couple weeks ago for a race there, and did a little bit of testing there, and we got our primary car here. We tore it apart after Cedar Lake and got it ready to go here for this weekend. So we took a little time off there, to get things regrouped. We've been racing a lot this year, so it takes time to get everything back where it needs to be. So it's 100%.
You taking a week off is usually not something I hear. Usually I see you at just about every racetrack you can when we're taking time off. But, for you guys, I talked to you and Heather a little bit earlier. You guys got to do a little bit of fishing when you were off that break, too.
Yeah, we did. We snuck off last weekend, I think, and, took a day and went up to the lakes there and just got the boat out, from about, I think, been about 10 years. So we did a little work on that and got it going, and just took a day off and just kind of relaxed a little bit. But, other than that, like I said, we've been, working hard on, getting things regrouped and, getting our stuff, stocked back up here for the rest of the season.
I was fishing last week, and I had a huge bass. It had to be 4 or 5 pounds from the way it felt, and I got it. I had it hooked. I thought I had it hooked, and then it busted my line, and I never saw the thing again. But that's just how it does. But I hear you're a pretty big fisherman off the racetrack. Now, you said it was the first time you'd been out on the boat, but do you try, like, if you're going from one town to another, maybe grab the fishing poles out of the back of the rig and try to find a pond, or just something to do, like whenever you're just to really clear your mind whenever you're not on the racetrack?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we got a couple poles in the trailer, and we go to some places and try and just to get away and kind of just like you said, relax a little bit and get your mind off some things. And actually, it's a good thing to start thinking about some things too. So, that's one of the things I just like to do, just get away from racing and just do something a little different.
Now back to the racing. Of course, you are known as one half of the dynamic duo between yourself and Heather Line. I think that I always find interesting the story of how that all started with Heather with a dare. And, we were talking about you still have the letter from when she first came in. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was at the shop just, working, and this lady pulls up here, and this, I think she had a black Mustang at the time, just got off of work and that, and stopped by and asked if I needed any help, racing and that. And I was thinking, really, what are you going to do, but... she fooled me there, and I told her where we were racing at next, and she showed up there, and, after that, I think that was pretty much history. She's been working with me ever since, so, she's been a great help for over the years, and, a hard worker, puts in a lot of time, takes a lot of time to do this, so, she's real passionate about the sport and, going up and down the road doing this with me, so, I was real thankful for her, for all of her, support and help. But, she's a hard worker, and put her up against anybody there to get out here and do this.
Did you realize on that first night working together, I know it was a long time ago, you may or may not remember, did you realize right away that was a combination that was going to work, or did it take some time to build some of the camaraderie?
Well, it definitely took some time. I mean, I'm a real person that, likes things done a certain way, and, and the way I like to do them, and, not knowing what she knew, and just teaching her over the years and showing her how things, how I like to get them done. And, there's a lot of things that she didn't know either. So, she, just had to learn that over time. And, it took a lot of time to get, working together. But, I know, I trust her with everything that she does. And I know when I get in that car, I don't have nothing to worry about.
Do you think she has any desire to get behind the wheel?
Nah, she says no. I mean, I tried putting her in there a couple times. She said that she's got to have some cushions in there to see over the steering wheel. But no, she said no desire to drive. But she definitely enjoys working on them.
Now, for you guys, we talked about how it almost seems like you don't take a week off throughout the year. What are some of your favorite places that you make sure you make a point to get to every single season?
As far as where?
Like just tracks in general that you want to hit. Maybe it's a Summer Nationals track. Maybe you're excited about an Outlaws track we go to each and every year, stuff like that.
Oh, we just, I love racing and, just going up and down the road and going to all the different places, throughout the year. I mean, always, start the year off, down south, and getting out of Florida, and then just throughout the year, a lot of races that we like, going to. We took some time off, going to some summer national races this year, and going back to Kankakee Speedway, a place I won a championship a long time ago, and haven't been there in years. I mean, just getting some places that we haven't been to, and always trying to come back to the places that we've ran, like Fairbury, Farmer City, all throughout, over here in Davenport, just all the tracks that we've always go to. I just enjoy going back to them, that we don't get a chance to go to a lot too anymore.
Let's talk a little bit about some of your competition, and let's start with a guy that is trying to do what you did last year, and that's win the World of Outlaw Late Model Championship, and Bobby Pierce. And this is the first year that Bobby has ran the Outlaw Tour full-time, the first time he's ran a national tour full-time after definitely being good enough to do so for many years. But, he stuck around, he did the summer national stuff, did the local stuff, picked and chose his events instead of going on a national tour. And he comes out his first year on a national tour and has got a really, really good chance to win the championship. Do you feel like in today's world of late model racing, it's best for drivers to spend a couple years doing what Bobby did instead of just immediately going down on a national tour and trying to be successful?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've always said that over the years, even when I started racing and that, I mean, you get to your local tracks and, you start and you get comfortable there and you start, venturing out and doing some different things, and then, go out and then hit the road. I mean, it took a long time for me to get out on the road, but, you learn a lot of stuff at, around home, and, get comfortable, and then, be able to go out and, do a tour. And, Bobby definitely, I mean, he's ran around for years, and he's, a great driver. I mean, his dad's a great person, gets, works on them cars and knows what they're doing. So, I mean, they're definitely, he's definitely a contender anywhere he goes.
Now, I want you to think back. We talk about the championship. What was it like? Think back to that November night when you got to raise that trophy in front of that awesome crowd. Just what was the feeling going through your head at that point?
Oh, it was just an awesome experience. I mean, to be able to, get out there and, in front of everybody and be able to do that. I mean, it's just a great experience. It's a lot of hard work and time over the years, and just to, be able to, say that we've won a championship, with World of Outlaws just means a lot. And, we're definitely, just going to keep plugging away and, maybe win another one or two before we're, done.
How long do you see, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but how long do you see yourself staying on the road full time?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, as long as everything keeps going good in that, and, as long as we're able to keep doing, we're just going to keep, working away at it. And, I enjoy it. I mean, going up and down the road and going to all these different places and being on tour. I mean, it's a lot of hard work and a hard grind, but, I definitely enjoy doing it. So there's no chance of me, slowing down right now.
We look forward to this. We got a number of races still left to go this season, but one of the bigger ones coming up, a dirt car event. It's going to be the World 100, but you have a crown jewel win at Eldora. Think back to that night, that biggest win of your career, obviously. How important was that for your career to add that to the resume?
Yeah, that definitely is my biggest win. I mean, to go over there and win any race over at that place means a lot. But to get one of them. Dream races, I mean, just really, meant a lot to me. And, to be able to go out there, and I mean, I remember that race like it was yesterday. I mean, just fell back, got the lead, fell back again, got the lead again. I mean, we definitely worked for that one. And, that was a great race, for the fans and everything. But to be able to get over there and pick that win up, really mean a lot for me. And, getting back and getting ready to go over there for, the World coming up here, and, definitely getting ready for that. And that's definitely one of the races we want to win too.
Let's stick on that subject. And just for example, let's say you show up at Eldora for the Dream in June. You struggle. You aren't comfortable. You don't like the setup you have on the race car. The next couple months, you're not going to another track that's anything like Eldora for whenever you go back. In September for the World 100. What do you have to do in the weeks, the races, the months leading up to a big race at Eldora just to try to get the setup right, racing on racetracks that aren't anything like that place?
Well, I think you just got to, get comfortable. Car's got to be balanced good and comfortable throughout the year and try different things. And, hopefully you can hit on something and, be able to roll in there and be good. But if not, you got to, have some, stuff, and back in ready to go and put on there to try to, get going. But, that's one of them places that, it's, we don't go to but a couple times a year, and you just got to pretty much have everything right and be prepared, and have your best equipment there.
Well, Dennis, we wish you the best of luck this weekend. 3 nights of action here in Davenport. We're looking forward to see you potentially back in victory lane here this weekend.
Well, thanks, and hopefully I am. So we'll be trying hard, and definitely like to pick this win up here this weekend.
Thank you very much, Dennis. Good luck this weekend. Stick around for our Sage Fruit Stage Show. We're talking to our first Extreme Outlaw Midget driver next, a guy that just won the Appalachian Midget Week title when we come back.
This is a story of grit. The kind of grit that built America. We're born from more than 180 years of grit. We're the underdogs, the lean, hungry, gritty ones. We're reloaded to help our customers do more work with less sweat than ever before. We're the new Case.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime!
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Pick up the win here at Kokomo Speedway. It's going to be Kenna McIntosh, 08, victorious tonight.
Welcome back to the Sage Fruit Stage Show from Davenport Speedway in Davenport, Iowa. Connor Wade and Mike Warren with you. The Extreme Outlaw Midget Series presented by Toyota is going to be in action all 3 nights. Well, sort of. They practice tonight, 2 full race nights, Friday and Saturday, and they're coming off the return to the Northeast, to the state of Pennsylvania for National Midget Racing, Appalachian Midget Week, and this man, Chase McDermand, by virtue of 2 wins and a second that final night at Path Valley, your inaugural Appalachian Midget Week champion. Chase, my question for you is, I want to start it off on carrying the momentum from Appalachian Midget Week. You look at your 2 wins earlier in the year when you went back-to-back at 81 in Kansas. You followed that up with some podiums at Millbridge, but then after that, had some struggles there for a couple weeks, couple races. How do you make sure this time you stay a contender each and every night?
I feel like most of it is figuring out what exactly we did wrong or could do better. So I feel like we learned a few things from that stretch, and we figured out things that weren't working or we weren't applying right, and things like that. So we've learned a lot, and we're ready now, and we have some momentum on our side too. So like you said, it's very important to carry that, and I think hopefully this next stretch here that we have is a lot better than the past few weeks have been.
Now, by virtue of that championship, you climbed yourself back right into championship contention, only 74 points back behind Cannon, and now you come to a place where you got your first career Extreme win here last year. You got to have the momentum and really enjoy getting to a spot where you can compete and compete well.
Yeah, and I feel like, certain tracks on the schedule really maybe don't suit my driving style, or I haven't had good results there. So, to come to a place, after Pennsylvania that we can, that we know that we have good speed at, and have won here in the past is really good in terms of, keeping that momentum like we just talked about. And, not only the momentum, but, confidence as a team and me as a driver too, it helps out a lot. But in terms of the points, we got, maybe I think 9 or 10 races left. So, still a third of the season is still on the board. So, we still got some time, but, it's going to go by pretty quick with these 2 and 3 day weekends that we have. So, we just got to keep on plugging away and finish out strong.
You mentioned some of the racetracks we go to suiting your driving style, some of them not. Let's talk more about that. We go to some tracks that are, bigger racetracks for midgets. They're more sprint car or late model tracks, so they're bigger, more high speed for midgets. Then we go to some, kind of like the Clyde, kind of like Action Track. They're smaller, they're bull range, their racing style is really, really tight. Which one do you like more, and which one do you feel like better suits your driving style?
Well, if you would have asked me that question before Pennsylvania, I would have said the bigger tracks. We picked up 2 wins at, some pretty big tracks in Kansas. So, those tracks more suited my driving style. I grew up in central Illinois by, Lincoln and Macon and Jacksonville, which Macon, I didn't really go to a lot. Just because my dad didn't race there. But, I grew up around the quarter miles and Spoon River being a little bit bigger. So, that's all I ever watched and got, a feel for. And so, we came to Pennsylvania, and really, to be honest with you, I was looking forward to it just because it was, new places to go to, and I'd never been quite that far out east. But it wasn't my cup of tea, really, to be honest. And so, having the success that we did there really helped, my confidence as a driver to know that, that we have a good package for the short tracks too, as well as the big tracks.
Now, one thing, I'm going to consider Davenport a bigger track just because of how wide it is, not so much the quarter mile length, but what is the difference for the folks that don't know? How do you set up differently for a big track like Humble or 81 compared to a track like Action Track where it's really small?
Typically we have to keep the car, a lot tighter. And I say that meaning, just trying to keep the car more straighter, just because you have such wide sweeping corners. And then you go to a place, like the couple tracks we went to out in Pennsylvania that are really tight, and you really got to keep the car freer, easier to turn, just because they are, such hairpin turns. So it's quite a bit different as far as the setup. It's quite a bit different, as far as the driving style also. And, I learned a lot going out there about, the car itself and driving as well.
Let's talk about the dynamic of the Mount Stout team. I remember, of course, Jay has been around racing for a while. I remember the first time I really started paying the most attention to that team was when they had Trey Gropp running the Power Eye Tour in 2020. And, there was a show, a Power Eye West show that they won, and they did a great job, and it was a great event, and Power Eye West is a great series, but they were thrilled whenever they broke through for that Power Eye West win, and now they're going and they're competing at extreme races, USAC races, they're winning on a consistent basis, and you watched that team from afar there for a little bit, and then you joined in. Just in your opinion, how has the Mount Stout team grown the last 3 years?
It's grown tremendously. If you look at, from even when, Jay started racing, I think it's been 15 years now since he started his midget career. So, when he transitioned from being a car owner or a car driver to a car owner, I'm sure it was quite the challenge at first. It's something different to get used to, and it obviously took probably way longer than he would have envisioned, to get his first win. But just seeing what we have been able to do, in the last 2 years, even from when I started running full time with him, it's cool to be a part of that. And you'll always remember your first one. And so at Peevely, last year, that was a really, really big one for myself and for the team too. But, now looking back on it, we have 4 wins this year, and we won twice last year. It's cool to look back and see how far we've all come.
Now, one thing for you that may be a little bit different compared to some of your competitors out there, it's not just driving for you. You're balancing a full-time job at the same time at McDermand Plumbing. What is that like going back and forth all the time?
It's tricky, especially on the long trips and, the midget weeks and stuff that we've had. My dad comes to most of the races, but he couldn't come to Pennsylvania because he had to stay back and work. So it's tough to balance that, as a family and a business too. It would be hard enough to make all of these races if we, didn't have that. So it's tough. It's definitely tiring. That's why I have transitioned to a little bit more of just letting Jay take the car to the track and most of the workload and stuff off of me, because really I didn't have enough time to devote to it without just completely killing myself, during the week. So it's definitely been a good transition as far as that, and I feel like we've done a good job at balancing that. As far as the McDermand Plumbing and the racing stuff, I just wish that, my dad could be able to make all the races, obviously, but it's just something that it's very important to us. We got to keep our business going strong to be able to race.
And along with that, something else that you've done a couple of times this year to make your schedule even busier is you've brought out your personal midget and put young drivers in it to kind of help develop them and get them into midget racing. We saw Steven Snyder Jr. in it for Illinois Speedway, and I think you've had a couple others in it throughout the year. Keith Coons develops drivers and does a great job. Jay Mounts is developing drivers. But you're 24 years old. You're still, getting into the national, or you're on the national midget scene, but you're still competing at a high level yourself. Why is it important for you, so young, already 24, to develop young drivers and get younger drivers into midget racing like that?
Well, it's something that I am very passionate about. I like, working with the younger talent and giving, them opportunities.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
20. So I was a year old. So go ahead.
So it's something that I really like to do. I really enjoy it. Being able to pick guys that that I think deserve a shot, and Steven is one of those for sure. It's really cool to be able to work with them, and we've had some good runs. With Steven at the Chili Bowl and Jace Park too at Port City. So it's a lot of fun, and hopefully I get to do that again at the BC 39. That's
just crazy to me. He's only 23, and I can't think of any other drivers that young in any discipline of racing that focus that much on developing others.
No, I will say that's the first time I've heard that for a driver that young, and it's a great thing that you definitely do, Chase. But going back in here, so we get ready, Quad Cities 150 this weekend. How do you feel about your shot against this stout field?
I feel pretty good. We've got a good notebook from last year, and I think it's definitely a lot hotter this year, so the track's probably going to be a little bit different. We don't run with the late models a lot either, so they kind of they have a little bit different track, usually a lot slicker than we're used to. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see what we got.
So final question for you. Obviously, the World of Outlaw Case Late Models running with us this weekend. You and I had a conversation, I think it was at 81 in Kansas, and I said, would you ever jump in a late model? And you said, absolutely. We've seen Tyler Courtney do it. Parker Price Miller's done it. Logan Stevie has practiced Mark Richards midget at Farmers City. Why would you do it? Why would that pique your interest in maybe jumping into one?
I'm just a racer, right? Like I would drive most anything that has a steering wheel and 4 wheels. So it's just something different, and I think as a race car driver, the more things you can drive, it's going to help you as a driver just to broaden your horizons. So it's definitely cool, that we are able to come out here and talk to the late model fans and let them watch the midgets, because not a lot of them, probably most of the late model fans that I talk to really don't come to midget races often. So it's cool, to have that crossover to give the fans the best of both worlds.
Well, Chase, hope to see you in a late model someday, and good luck coming back to Davenport, and hope to see you get another Extreme Outlaw Midget win this weekend. Best of luck to you, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Stay with us here on the Sage Fruit Stage Show, my bad. One of the World of Outlaw Late Models top drivers is making a late August chassis change. We'll tell you more about that on the other side of this break.
Job after job, you push productivity to the limit. That's why your Case construction fleet deserves the best protection available. #1 engine oil, formulated for oxidation and deposit control and extended drain intervals. Give your equipment the right tools for the job with genuine lubricants from Case Construction. Only available from your Case dealer.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Bugs on your windshield? Simply spray, and they're gone. Front end disaster after your last road trip? No problem with Bugs Be Gone. Simply spray, let it soak for a minute, then hose off with water or wipe away with a wet cloth. You'll love Bugs Be Gone for any car or truck surface. Bugs Be Gone is water-based and completely safe to use on any vehicle surface. Just spray and rinse away. Ask for Bugs Be Gone wherever you buy your automotive appearance products or check us out at bugsbegoneworks.com.
Dylan Thompson, Chase Motorsports Coach and Trailer Sales, Paducah, Kentucky. If you're in the market for a like-new, pre-owned motorhome or trailer, give us a call today or check us out at chasecoach.com. Lots of inventory in stock, normally something to fit every budget. Financing available, we deliver nationwide, and we accept trade-ins too. I would love to earn your business.
Welcome back to Davenport, Iowa. You're watching DurVision on the Sage Fruit Stage Show, and thank you to those of you fans here in Iowa this evening that have started hanging around outside of our stage down here to check this out. Connor Wade, along with Mike Warren, and the driver that currently sits second in World of Outlaw Case late model point standing, Smokey, Chris Madden. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I think the big storyline we'll be talking about all weekend, rolled a Longhorn out of the trailer this weekend. First time all year. I believe you've tested it. Might be the first time ever that you're actually going to be racing one. But talk about just the decision-making behind, it's late August at this point in the year, making that switch.
We just, wanted to do something different here. And Steve Arpin and Rumley and all his guys at Longhorn Chassis, have done an outstanding, awesome job to really get us going right here real quickly. And it took place real quick, kind of, I guess, late after Deer Creek. We over there. So, but back to the Longhorn deal. I mean, I run Longhorns back in 17 and had a lot of success with them. So, there's a few things changed, but not a whole lot's changed. So we should, hopefully be good right out of the box here.
Now I want to take things off the track for you next. Back in June, you became a grandfather for the first time. I know that's it's a very special moment for anybody in a family.
It's very different. You love your kids, but when you have a grandbaby, it's totally different. So it's been great. Me and my wife, my family, we definitely enjoy our time with them. And my daughter done an outstanding job with having a baby and being young. So she's doing a great job as far as being a mom. And we're just couldn't be more proud of her and more blessed to have a healthy grandbaby.
Does your family, the kids, the new grandbaby, do they get to the races very much throughout the year?
No, she hadn't yet. I mean, she's not, obviously not old enough yet.
Right.
But she will, no doubt, if we get close to home. We stay out here more than we do around my area, so it's kind of hard for for my family to, get out here with me. But my wife, she comes, as much as possible. Avery started school now, so she's been at home with him, trying to get that going. He's, stays pretty busy there with the baseball and schooling. So, and her job is definitely give her the opportunity to be able to come, and she's never been able to do that the whole time we've been married. We spent more time together this year than I think we ever have since we've been married. So it's been great.
Awesome.
I've enjoyed it, and actually she's flying out Tuesday, so we'll have her, next week and then at the World. So definitely, great moments to, I don't know, where I would be without my family that I have behind me.
Now, speaking of family, you've kind of developed a bit of a family on the road this year as well, between you, Brent Larson's team, Johnny Scott's team. You guys travel together, you park together. I'm pretty sure I've seen you guys on the Apple River a couple times this year, too, just having some fun on the off days.
Yeah, Brent and Mel have been, just outstanding people and been open arms to us up in this area and give us a shop to be at and a place to stay and vehicles to drive and, just places to go and make this, fun other than just living in a truck and racing on the road. We've definitely built a great relationship with them and can't thank them enough. And then Johnny and his guys, they fit right in with my guys and we all have a great time and, we love to play golf. So, every chance we get, we're on the golf course.
That's got to be such a good feeling to just, go up and down the road with people. People ask Mike and I all the time why we work, the amount of races we work a year, but we just show up and talk. You and your guys, you guys are on the road. You're racing. You're having to stay around after the races, work on equipment, probably gas station and hotel parking lots. You're unloading and washing or working on stuff. And I think there's so many people, maybe, they're fans. They haven't been on the side that you're on, or even people outside of racing, or maybe they're new to it or whatever, that are just watching for the first time. So many people that ask why drivers do this. Why is it so fun to live on the road pretty much the entire year, race 100 times a year, go up and down the road? And it's just something, unless you do it, I don't think you'll ever understand. But for you, what is your why? Why go out on the road 100 times a year and race and live the lifestyle that you live and every race car driver lives?
At the bottom line, I love racing. I love the race. I love the drive. I love the challenge. And, I love the people that's at the racetrack. We have great, great people. The fans are great fans. They have their people they pull for. But we don't look at them because they have a different shirt on. Just because they don't have my shirt on don't mean I treat them any different than people that have my shirt on. We have a great group of people that support us and come out and support our racetracks, and it's just you have that family atmosphere everywhere you go, and we can't thank the fans enough for doing what they do for us and all our sponsors and stuff. That it takes a lot to do this, and we're very fortunate to be one of them that can do it. So and then, like I said, the people that we run up and down the road with, they make it fun and make it. If I didn't have anybody, I definitely couldn't come out here and do it and just, leave your family and not have anybody to spend any time with. So, like I said, my kids are pretty much grown up now. Avery's, getting to be grown, and he thinks he's an adult for sure, but, he's a big boy and he's able to take care of himself and just gives my wife a little more freedom to be able to come and enjoy some time with me. And, I don't know how many, more years I can run up and down the road, at this time, but hopefully I can continue to do it for a long time, but we'll see what, plays out. And, hopefully all our sponsors continue to support us and keep us out here. And, that plays a big part of it.
Now, one thing with you, you've had the same couple of guys on the road with you the last few years. I believe back in 2021 is when they started. That consistency is definitely, for you, one of the reasons why you've been a contender night in, night out.
Oh, there's no doubt. I consider my two guys the best two guys in the pits. I love them like they're my kids, and I probably treat them like they're my kids sometimes. They probably get a little upset with me, but I love them to death and wouldn't take nothing for them. And, I I try to help them in any way I can, even, guy that's beside racing. And, sometimes they might not like to hear it, but it's the truth. I've been there and done it, and, just try to help them through life and, try to be a role model for them out here and help them. But, I'm one queer son of a gun, so not too many people probably could work for me, but those two guys do a great job, and I'm very proud of them.
Let's talk a little bit about the dynamic of dirt late model racing today. One thing that stands out to me is the amount of young talent in it. I mean, there are some really, really good young drivers. What do you have to say about the young talent in the sport? Is there anybody that you look at that kind of reminds you of yourself from whenever you were, late teenager, early 20s, just getting into it?
I don't know, man. It's way different now. Our sport's so different. A lot of these kids come off of the video games and stuff like that, and it takes them a while. And I've had some very difficult times with some of them, but sometimes they come out here and drive these cars like they have that reset button, and we don't have no damn reset button. We have to work on them and fix them, and a lot of them don't. They walk away from it, but there's some out there, and all I can say to them, is to learn your cars and be at all parts of every perspective of that car, and you'll be that'll make you better and better. But I'll tell you that the talent that's out here today is unbelievable. Them young guys are definitely, technology has cut a lot of years off of learning. So I mean, it's definitely moved them at a very fast speed as far as learning curve, and there's definitely some tough young kids out here. And for instance, like Bobby, I mean, Bobby's a pretty young kid, and he's done an outstanding job this year, and his whole team. His dad plays a big role in that. A lot of people give Bobby a lot of credit, but I give Mr. Bob a tremendous amount of credit. That guy really does a lot for that kid, and keeps that program in line and where it needs to be. And it's great to have a guy like that standing on the sideline to help with adjustments and making calls on the car. And Bob's done an outstanding job this year, so hats off to them guys.
Now we're going to move into the Quad City 150s. 3 nights of action here at Davenport. I asked Dennis the same question earlier. What makes Davenport different than any other racetrack in the country?
I wish we were still running on that big one out there.
Fair.
I love that one.
Well, you do have some
awesome
success
place.
on half miles.
The family that's here that runs it, is great people. Like I said, the facility, I mean, you look down through here, I mean, it's a beautiful place, and they have an awesome little racetrack, and it usually races real well. And we love to, come and support great racetracks and great people. And it's pretty exciting to come here for 3 days, and that's about it.
Well, like Mike said, you've had a lot of success on half miles. Feel like those are really more your style, but don't have a choice this weekend. Obviously, have to go with the tight, the quarter mile. What is the mindset? How is the mindset different going into a quarter mile opposed to a half mile?
I mean, I love this little quarter mile here. I mean, we run really good here. Last year, I think we had a shot at winning it there, and I think that's when Bobby got a little aggressive and spun me out down the back straightaway there. So like I told him one day, I still haven't forgot that. So maybe one day he'll be going around doing 360s, but we'll see. But no, I love this place. It's an awesome little place, and the race is real good, and I like it.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for joining us up here on the Sage Fruit stage here tonight. We're looking forward to see you out here in 3 nights of action at Davenport.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for all the fans coming out, and we appreciate Davenport for putting this on, and looking forward to having a great weekend. Maybe the thermostat will turn down a little bit, and it'll be nice.
Best of luck to you, Chris. Thank you so much
Appreciate it.
for your time. Keep tuning in on Dervision. We have one more guest left on the Sage Fruit stage today, and it's a driver who's coming off a pretty good USA Nationals just a couple weeks ago.
It's orientation day. Welcome to the team.
Who wants to race?
I like this team.
be part of something greater. Toyota, let's go places.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
We don't sit in an ivory tower, keeping our boots clean. We're in the dust, digging deeper to help our customers win. We're the new Case.
ARP, the ultimate fasteners for racing in the dirt. With high horsepower demands, ARP delivers maximum clamping force and performance. When failure on the dirt is not an option, it's ARP-bolts.com.
Believe the hype, as Wits Racing Products has all you need to get RC cars dialed in with Hyperglide ceramic bearings and other high-performance products for the competitive RC racer. From the shop to the track, increased drivetrain, reduce friction, Hyperglide along to just go faster with Wits Racing Products.
Welcome back to the Sage Fruit stage as we get ready for the My Place Hotels Quad Cities 150, presented by Hooker Trucking here at the Davenport Speedway. And our final guest of the evening, a driver from the Hawkeye State himself, the Reaper, Ryan Gustin. Ryan, first question I want to ask you, this is your 3rd year with the World of Outlaws Case Late Models. What has been the learning curve over these last 3 years for you?
The first year was really tough, just going from kind of running regional stuff to with the Outlaws. I mean, there's nothing really that you take from regional racing to even get you close, on any kind of national level. So it was definitely took a lot of butt kickings to get where we're at now. But now I feel like, if we get our stuff right, we're as fast as anybody in the pits.
So we are racing in the state of Iowa, your home state. Your shop is just about 5 minutes down the road from this place. So brief story time here. Going back to the Outlaw race at Boone. This guy couldn't make it. I was there just hanging out. I somehow got talked into driving the pace truck. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea, but some of the fans that were riding in the pace truck that night, oh my gosh, they were the biggest Ryan Gustin fans I think I have ever met in my life. They had your shirts, they were down there for your heat race, were cheering you on the whole time. You got the heat race win, but what is it like coming to your home state and just racing in front of so many of your loyal fans?
I mean, it's definitely cool. Anytime that we race in Iowa, it definitely makes you feel good. People actually know who you are versus when we go to out east, people don't even know who I am. So definitely makes you feel good whenever you can race around home and in front of fans and people that I've known my whole life, so definitely makes you feel good. But it's also cool when you go to other places too, and people actually do know who you are. That makes you feel good too.
Now, you come into this weekend, the Quad Cities 150. You're looking for a little bit of redemption in this race, no question about it. Last year, you led the majority of the finale. Things kind of went south, but earlier this year, you got 2 wins on quarter miles already this year. You know how to get it done here at Davenport.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of times if there ain't nothing else going on, we'll come race here just because it's real close to the shop. And, even if we're just coming out to test or whatever, try some new stuff. But, definitely last year was definitely a heartbreaker, man, to lead that thing all the way till the end there and then have a brake issue like that. Definitely, it sucked, man. We were loaded up and out of here in about 10 minutes, I think. But hopefully everything goes smooth this week. We can, obviously unload and be fast and have speed right away, which seems like is most of it. If you unload fast, the changes are really minor, and that makes the night go a lot smoother versus if you unload and you're have to sink it off. You got a long night ahead of you. So hopefully we unload fast and don't have to battle our way through the night.
Chris Madden was on just before you. I think you were sitting and watching, but he mentioned the old half mile that's here at Davenport. And if you're at the racetrack this weekend, you walked over to the racetrack and get up close to it, you can still see where the half mile was. You had 3 top 5 finishes in your career on the half mile. What do you remember about that place, and or just about what the half mile was like? And then are you a fan of the new quarter mile better?
I am, yeah. I mean, I don't even think I raced on the half mile 3 times, so it must have been pretty good. But the biggest thing I remember about the half mile was they still had the quarter mile in the infield, and you really couldn't see getting into turn 1. So there's a big tire there. But from the bank on the front stretch of the small tracks, I mean, you're doing about 140 mile an hour, and you can't see that Uke tire. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking for sure, but I remember it being really fast and up on the fence and a get it on type of deal, which most big half miles are like that.
Now, for you, for a lot of people that may not know you, you have 2 national championships to your credit in the USMTS Modifieds. But talk to me about what the difference is from driving one of those to driving a late model.
Well, I just went back and drove one here this last weekend. Kind of, made me remember, they don't really turn like a late model does. They don't have side-by. They don't have the power. The brakes don't work. It's just it's a whole nother deal. It feels like where in a modified you can get away with hustling the car a little bit if it's off, to where these things, I mean, you're kind of really as good as your car is to a point. I mean, there's certain places like Fairbury or something like that, you can get up on the wheel and make some stuff happen, but majority of racetracks we go to anymore, you're at the mercy of your car. You're as good as your car is, and that's just how it is. So, I mean, it's all about being able to relay the info about what your car is doing or what you're feeling to whoever's making the adjustments, and making sure that you get the most out of your race car.
Let's talk about 2023 for you. 5 wins overall, 3 with the World of Outlaws Taste Late Models. That's the most you've ever won with the series. Comparing this year to previous years, can you single out one difference maker for 2023 that's make you better?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's basically kind of like a whole new team, really. Talon Center's come on, and he takes care of everything, to where, like I said, everything's here in Davenport. I go back to Marshalltown during the week, and I'm not near as hands-on with the car, which I think is probably a good thing sometimes. But no, he's really good. He knows what the car needs. The biggest thing that we kind of struggled with to begin with was me not knowing how to relay the information when I kind of made all the adjustments myself of kind of what I felt, So I feel like I've gotten better at that, and he's gotten better at, reading whatever he thinks I need, and I think the rest of the season we're going to be really good.
Now, for you, the biggest change, like you said, Talon Center coming on, it's that dynamic. I think we have a conversation at I-94 earlier this year. He's starting to set the car up a little bit to your driving style, because you got so used to driving modifieds. Is that starting to become a better balance for you as we head into the latter part of the season?
It is, for sure. Like at Florida, it really was kind of a struggle. Like I said, I didn't know how to, I know I'm tight, but I don't know why I'm tight. Nose too high, nose too low, right rear doing this, left rear doing that. It's just, I've gotten more used to being able to pay attention to what the car is doing as far as attitude-wise, and not just being tight or being loose or anything like that. More, just thinking about what the car is doing and relaying the information as far as posture of the race car and everything like that. But like I said, I think that obviously the more we race, I feel like the more our chemistry gets better, and we're going to be good, I hope, here going on.
Let's kind of get back to just talking about Iowa a little bit. I feel like Iowa has to be the most underrated state in the country for the dirt tracks it has. There are some incredible dirt tracks in the state. I think a lot of people think of Knoxville, Knoxville Nationals, Knoxville Late Model Nationals, that sort of thing. But, man, I mean, Davenport, Boone, Marshalltown there in your hometown. I feel like every weekend I see somebody posting at a new track in Iowa, and then I look at it or see the video, and it's like, dang, what a cool place. There's some great tracks in the state, aren't there?
There is. I think that there's probably more dirt tracks in Iowa than any other state. I don't know. You have to check.
People don't realize that.
I honestly really think that there is more dirt tracks in Iowa than any other state. Like I said, I think somebody else have to verify that, but there's a ton of them, and there's a lot of good ones, and some that ain't so good like everywhere else. But you're gonna have that.
Now, for you, you've driven a number of different cars. We've talked about the modified and the late model. Is there any type of car that maybe one day you'd like to get into?
If I could lose about 50 pounds, I'd like to drive a sprint car one time, but I think I'm probably a little bit too big for them. But here eventually, I've been trying to lose some weight and get some weight off myself for our type of racing too. I feel like that sometimes hurts us. As there's a lot of these guys that I'm probably almost 100 pounds heavier than, and that's bad with the left side weight and everything like that. So if we can shed some of that, we're going to be faster anyway. But yeah, I would like to try to drive some newer cars, like maybe some sprint car stuff. Non-wing stuff looks really cool to me, but it's also a little bit dangerous too. So, but I'd like to try it sometime.
What tracks have you seen winged or non-winged sprint cars at? Is there one that comes to mind that you'd like to try it at?
Kokomo looks pretty cool. It looks like they get it on around Kokomo and really anywhere in Indiana.
Now, we talked about your team a little bit earlier. Well, you said it was almost a new team, but there's one guy that's been a constant since you joined the World of Outlaw late models. So Noah, your tire guy, and as we've seen on our social media channels, he is not one without a joke on a daily basis. So you could say you guys stay entertained pretty much every day in the shop and at the racetrack.
Yeah, there's no lack of entertainment for sure. It's always a good atmosphere with those guys. Everybody gets along, really well compared to some of the other teams you look at, and everyone's always fighting and stuff like that. But I feel like we got one of the best teams as far as, being able to get along. We have a bad night, it is what it is. We'll race tomorrow and be better tomorrow, where some of the other teams are just, mad and don't get over it. But it doesn't seem like our team's like that.
You mentioned your tire guy. So I don't know a ton about tires. So general question here. Obviously, new tire rule for 2023. Everybody's been talking about. Crews have a better idea of how to handle it now. Is tire selection, and whether you're running a 3 or a 4, is tire selection more important, or is it tire management and the grooving and the siping that goes into it back in the pit area? Which do you think is more important?
They're both very important. A lot of the tire management aspect comes from what tire you put on. If you go soft, you have to manage your tire. If you go hard, you can probably lean on it a little bit more. But I think Tanner took a school here last year and put a soft tire on and got it done. So I think everybody's probably going to be on a soft tire here, unless it absolutely looks like it's going to be one lane rubbered up. Then I think everybody would go hard. But I'd be willing to bet most people are on a 3.
Now, while we got you here for another minute or so, there's a question I've always wondered, and since I've met you, how did the Reaper come together? Obviously your first name being Ryan also helps with the alliteration, but just definitely an odd nickname you don't see very often.
Yeah, I had a Reaper on my car a long time ago, like 2009, I think, and one of my buddies called me that one time, and it kind of stuck. And obviously for merchandise sales and everything like that, it's definitely a good one to have people like that. So it definitely has been good throughout the years.
Final stretch of the World of Outlaw Case late model schedule. Still a good amount of races left at some familiar places and then some new places, I believe, as well. Deer Creek, Mississippi Thunder coming up. I think Talladega, Sonoya later on in the year, of course, leading up to the World Finals. What's the big thing circled on your calendar, your schedule, as far as the rest of the Outlaw year goes?
I would say probably Deer Creek and Fountain City, which when we were up there earlier in the year, we struggled a little bit, but I feel like we've come a long way since then, though, too. So definitely probably Deer Creek and Fountain City are the places that I got the most laps around. And then Sonoya is always fun. And Charlotte, we haven't been the best at, but that's a place you need to be good at, because at some point it might come down to a national championship there. So you got to be good there.
Now, for you, in the midst of your best season with the World of Outlaws, no question about it, Bobby's kind of starting to trickle away from everybody a little bit, but that battle for second right now, I know you don't look at points every night, but it is a dogfight going down the stretch.
It is. It really is. I think Shepard sneaked by us there for third. So, Bobby's going to be tough to beat for sure. But I think as long as everything goes right, who knows? Anything could happen. I still believe that if everything goes right, we can win this championship just like everybody else in the top 5. So we'll see what we get. We just got to get good, solid finishes and, hope Bobby has a little bad luck too. But that's what it's going to take.
Well, Ryan, we really appreciate your generosity with your time and coming and talking to us on the stage show. Best of luck to you this weekend at the Quad Cities 150.
Thank you. I need to thank all my sponsors, too. TriStar Engines, Transmissions, Molly, VP, Fast Shafts, FK Rod Ends, just everybody that helps out. I'm sure I'm missing a few, but can't thank them enough and couldn't do it without them.
And a thank you to Sage Fruit for making this stage show possible from Davenport, Iowa. It is the My Place Hotels Quad Cities 150 weekend presented by Hoker Trucking. Tonight, watch the Extreme Outlaw Outlaw midgets take some practice laps and watch the World of Outlaw K-Slate models battle it out as Bobby Pierce goes for his 9th win of the season and tries to extend his point lead. That wraps up our stage show. And in just a couple of moments, Dave Reef in our Dervision studio in Concord, North Carolina, is going to give you a pre-race look at tonight's action from Davenport.
This is a story of grit. The kind of grit that built America. We're born from more than 180 years of grit. We're the underdogs, the lean, hungry, gritty ones. We're reloaded to help our customers do more work with less sweat than ever before. We're the new Case.
Perfection isn't easily achieved. It takes hard work, dedication, and perseverance. Through their commitment to excellence, Sage Fruit Company has been supplying customers with the best tree fruit in the Pacific Northwest for over 3 generations. They work hard on the farm, in the packing facilities, and with their retail partners to provide consistent, high-quality apples and pears all year long. Look for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
I watched my first race yesterday.
You're on the team, kid. It's orientation day.
Hey, new guy, let's get you up to speed.
Lunchtime.
Your workspace is ready.
Looks like you got a corner office.
Be part of something greater. Toyota. Let's go places.
Pick up the win here at Kokomo Speedway. It's going to be Kenna McIntosh, 08, victorious tonight.